Hi, it's Marlon. Today we're going to be discussing about development rules for castling. And okay, my student asked me, do we have to castle every time? And then I answered, yes, of course. But it depends. So when you are doing castling, you're achieving two things. First, you put your king into safety, and next thing is you're activating your rook. So at some moment of the game, there is also a possibility that we will delay our casting, but in a right position. Confusing, right? Let me show you. No, no. So for example, in this position, this is white move. And if you're just thinking of doing like short casting, this is gonna be dangerous for you. Yes, you're like, yeah, I do casting to go for king safety. But the problem here is the queen and the bishop is threatening the h2 pawn, which leads into a checkmate on h2. So not all castling is safe. What's the best casting here? Long castling. So you have to consider sometimes the position. Another one. Okay, what about this position? This is black to play, okay. If you want, I can switch the board. I think I will not. If black castle here, if black castle in the short side again, there is a problem. The queen and the rook is attacking e7 and he can capture. Because currently the bishop is on pin. So what will you do? Otherwise, if you're black, your king will be stopped on the middle. Okay, you can go away, for example, you can play king f8 here, but you didn't achieve casting, and your rook will be a sitting duck here in h8. So we have to cast it. But can we do long casting? Well, the answer is yes. But you're like, but he can capture e7. Well, he can. Queen takes e7. Queen takes e7. And now, if rook captures e7, you remember my lesson before. We have back that mate. After rook on e1, rook captures and the king is blockaded by his own pawn, can't go anywhere, nothing to attack the rook on e1, so this is going to be a checkmate. So doing a casting is something you have to, but it depends when and where. I'm going to show you another classical game, and this game happened in 1960 between Mark Taimanov, a legendary, very good player, against Lev Polugevsky in Leningrad, Russia. So this game started with d4, d5, c4, and d takes c4. So this is a queen's gambit accepted game. Knight on f3, knight on f6. Now whites want to capture the c4 pawn, so queen e4 check, double attack. And black played knight d7, and white's like, should I take or should I delay? Here, white delayed by playing knight on c3. Black played e6, who wants to activate the bishop, maybe here on d6 and castle. Makes sense. White gained more space on the center by playing e4. And black now played c5. So he's trying to open up the center for white. And white is a fighting player. I mean, Mark Taimanov is, I watched some of his games and it's very precise when he's attacking. D5, complicating the position more. He captures D5. So instead of the natural move capturing, even pawn captures, he complicated the position more. He played E5. And if this knight move, for example, maybe here or there, or even on G4, and then white could just capture the D5 pawn, and white will have, black will have double pawns. So here, black decided to do counterplay. He played D4. So if you capture my knight, I'll capture yours. Then white is like, why would I capture? If I could, because if you capture it, you capture me. So what about if I capture a pawn first? So if you capture here, I'm gonna capture you instead. That's what's happened. D takes C3, pawn captures F6. Now, this knight cannot capture because it's a pin. If he captures using a pawn, then he will have double pawn. So he captured using the queen. And after here, white is like, should I castle or should I capture? He did a different thing. He attacks. Bishop on G5, attacking the queen. And black's like, oh yeah, let me do the math. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you have only 5 pawns. Let me simplify it. Queen C6. And here, black is threatening to capture the queen on E4. And again, white, instead of just capturing or even blocking or even moving away, he did a spectacular move. White castle, long side castle, not short. So why? So let's check this out. What happens if queen captures a free queen? Then rook HE1 check. It's a check, and the king cannot go here on B8 because there's a bishop. He can block using a knight, but of course, the rook will just capture it. So, bishop on E7. And then, will you capture with the bishop or with the rook? CCP, check, capture, threat. Try to capture with a check. Rook takes E7. And here, if black goes on D8, then we're going to have what we call discover check and capturing a knight on D7. And the king can't go on the 7th rank, which means he could just play king E8 and then checkmate on D8. Amazing. So here, king goes on D8 is a mistake. And black just go on F8. After king on F8, do you have check with capture again? Yes. F7. Rook captures F7 check. And okay, if he has again 2 options, he can go back on E8, but moving back on E8 is losing everything he has. There's a rook on E1 check, and then goes, wait. Okay, maybe knight goes here, and then rook takes E5, and then, I don't know, there's a bishop on E6 next. And then bishop takes E6, maybe he will capture here and then capture. And then if he goes for a check, this is the cool part here. Bishop on B3, checkmate, discovered, check, while protecting against a check. Amazing. So, let's go back. King goes on E8 is a mistake, so what if he goes on G8? Another smelly position because there is a bishop on C4, but bishop on C4 is unprotected. But what you can do if you're white is rook takes fd7, and then there's a discovered check. So queen probably will capture, and then rook d8 check, nothing to block, can't go on f8, forced to go on f7. Then, can you spot it? Correct. Knight e5, fork, double attack. And on this position, of course, maybe the king can just go on e6, and then knight captures on c4, and even if he captures the rook, rook captures. This rook, I think, on my opinion, will just stay here on the 8th rank, pinning this bishop. And, I mean, it's very simple now for white to win, because this bishop will be blocking, so this rook won't be captured. It's pinned. Okay, what will happen if queen takes a4? So Mr. Lev didn't capture, but instead he captures on d2, check. Taimanov captured. Then bishop e7. So he tries to maybe stop the idea of this one. And again, he's not interested of capturing the queen. And white also is not interested in moving out his queen. He played rook he1. And black is like, what I'm gonna do here? Again, if I capture and then you're gonna capture and then same story. He played f6 just to be different. Now, Taimanov has to do something with his queen because there is no attack on e7 now with the bishop. He played bishop on b5. Queen goes on b6. Pinning. And some threat of e6. So king goes away from the pin. Black captures the bishop on g5. And then here, this is for the attack start. I mean, actually, on this position. Bishop takes d7. And if bishop takes, then there's queen takes d7. And come on, it's just going to be losing very bad for white, for black. Here, but what happened after bishop takes d7, king goes on f8. Rook takes e7, a very good move. So if king captures, queen e4 check. King goes on d8. Bishop f5, it's covered. Check. And king goes on c7. Queen e5 check. So now I think it's another forced move, king c6, because if you block kissing the queen, then queen just will capture on b6. King c6, rook on d6, and we have a skewer. But here after king on b5, white played queen b2 check, and furthermore trying to checkmate. Maybe if king goes on a6, there's a bishop on b3. If king goes on a5, then there's queen a3. Check. And slowly by slowly, white will checkmate the king. I think this is going to be checkmate to 3. Let me check. Check, yeah, and then maybe goes back here, and then there's a knight on d4 check. Yep. And then if he captures, can you spot the move? Bishop d3. This is how good Mr. Taimanov is. So here, the point is, where was the move? The c takes b2. He found the casting move very, very accurate on the timer. Amazing. And to show you one more game, this game happened with Evangelios against Mr. Grivas in, I forgot the year. And here, Mr. Grivas is black. I'm just going to switch it to you. What the game happened here is, just flip it back. White king is on f1, which means it's very, very bad shape. And as you can see, black starts attacking this white king, and his pieces are badly misplaced. So let's see how black wins from here. G6, attacking the bishop. Bishop on g4. Bishop on e7. Knight goes on f3. Knight takes f3, removing the defender of this h2 pawn. Bishop takes f3. White tries to hold on into his defense. But after rook takes h2, white mislook some position here. He played rook h1. And can you spot the checkmate, guys? Yes. Queen takes f2 checkmate. So if you don't castle, because you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna put my king on g2, I'm gonna attack. Well, I'm not saying that you're gonna lose if you don't castle, but try to castle as much as possible. So that's why in the previous lesson that we have, the development of your pieces toward castling and putting it in safety is a very must, especially on the beginning stage of the game, or even if you're a beginner. You always want to develop your pieces and do the right thing. Start the game correctly by developing your pieces towards center, think how you will castle, and then activate your other pieces for the middle game. So that's it, guys. I hope you learned something for today. Development rules, king side, or casting short side and king side. So bye, guys.